Let me tell you, I wish I copied and pasted or something, because I just lost. Ooh, quite the ride out. But I'm gonna have to share it live on a phone that's deciding not to charge. So hopefully I don't get cut off. Hopefully somebody sees this. Hopefully this encourages or cuts to or inspires the heart out there somewhere. And sitting here in contemplation. And it's been 2 years. It's been 2 years, folks, that we were seeing the sights and scenes of somebody's life and humanity not being taken for value. So many people were held frozen. In a moment, I will let you know it was more gripping, which is great, but it was more gripping than the whole 911 thing because it needed to be. It needs to be that this narrative, this unconscious societal harmful narrative, which many are still under the hypnosis of, it needs to be lifted. There are hearts out there that are so disconnected and removed from their own humanity in all of this. Years still. That it should have changed many more hearts, but it left so many people frozen. And there's so much that needed to be said that, yes, much of it has been said over the last few years. There's still so much more to go. There's still so much more to go. It's not something you want to call an anniversary, remembering when a certain moment happened in our world history. And then from there, more of it happened. From there, more happened. And still continues to happen. And it didn't just stop with a certain type of humanity or aspect or phenotypic expression thereof. It extended to and through. That yeast spread through the dough and found other ways. Other ways to break down, diminish, attack, harm. It still continues. And in all that heaviness, if you have not connected to, supported, and even allowed yourself to see your own humanity, your own experience within being human, if you have not allowed yourself that journey, to start connecting in with that journey, to start celebrating and honoring your existence, so that when you look around you, you can recognize and celebrate the existence of others, of other things, of other beings. You are missing out. And so many are held in that separation. There's a word for that. Held in separation. That word is apartheid. Can you imagine being in a space of apartheid? From what? Within your humanity, your own soul, your own celebration of your own existence, your own sight of self, your own observation and witnessing. Can you imagine being in your own personal apartheid because of societal programming that you are unaware that you are expressing and living in and under? You feel hollow and empty and can't figure out why you can't fill it, can't find that satisfaction, can't find that satisfying, that you just have to seek what is that one space that just needs to be filled. Like if you could just do the one thing, it should be able to help to fix whatever hole that it is. No, it doesn't work that way. We are all calling to ourselves to be seen by ourselves so that we can then turn our eye to see all of other. Recently, I went through an experience, we'll call it. Someone asked for my help, for me to show up in a certain way, to do a job. And we both knew going in that it would be temporary because, and I can appreciate this, and yes, someone had pointed out that this isn't an ongoing or repeating occurrence that tends to flow through my life. I accept the fact that I'm a catalyst for change. And I celebrate that, and at the same time, it's a painful piece of something to go through in certain spaces. And recently, that space has happened, we'll say. And that's okay. I showed up in my best. I showed up to celebrate in the mundane. I showed up with that learner mentality. I tell you, if you can allow yourself the space to show up in that learner mentality over and over and over again, it will keep you from being obtuse to your own potential. Being unconsciously competent at whatever it is not always the mastery and blessing that a lot of people think and observe it to be. Because if you can't see it for yourself that you're good at something and you don't give it the value, you can't look back and appreciate, you can't sit in the gap and measure how far you've come, it doesn't serve. It's always good to be in the space of growth, learning. There is a point where if you've practiced that aspect enough that you can sit back and allow yourself the space of celebration and integration. But yeah. We need the gift of witnessing ourselves in fullness in this life, so that we can better gauge the direction our steps are taking us in, so that we can hold ourselves in micro accountabilities, so that as we journey through each day, we can know we've taken good, measurable, increasing steps towards the person we desire to be. Not necessarily the life we desire to live, but the person we desire to be. It's beautiful, no matter what task, no matter what ability or job or space that you can show up in, that you can enjoy being who you are and how you show up in that. I was at a cultural event last night, and it spoke to how much and I'll say our Western society or colonial society, I don't know what to call it, the culture through which I was experiencing yesterday was diverse in languages, was diverse in, we'll say, colors, was diverse in food and approaches, and everyone celebrated their unifying factor. It was the culture through which they live, and they knew as they saw these faces that these people all connected and understood from the heart level what was their unifying aspect. And that's the space they operated in. They were so well versed in multiple things. They've shown up in the world to do multiple things. And this was an ongoing theme. We are so much more than whatever decided limit or programming limit that we've allowed ourselves to be given over to. First time it's a choice, maybe not. Maybe it was taught to us to try and practice it, and we try it. And then it was somehow reinforced. But when you continue, even in the face of being challenged out of it, when you continue in that action, you're given over to it. If you can't find in yourself to make the change, there's got to be something greater that will call you out of that change. For some people it's trauma, for some people it's loss. That's a really great cost. Love is not as expensive, and yet its abundance, its impact is greater. It is a light burden to carry, to be in the space of love, the energy, the universe of love, the dimension of love, however you want to put the words to it. Love might even come off of your tongue and hit your heart and resonate with harsh and whatever meanings that have been put to it. Just know that it's light. It's light in its burden. It's light. It's encouraging. It pulls out of you to breathe, to want to sigh in appreciation. Wonder calls on your heart to cry and have compassion. Humanity is the vessel for love. Even animals know it. And we can even show it to animals. And animals know whatever is of in us. That thing that promotes and celebrates existence. That thing. Let's not hold ourselves separate from that. Anyways, this is just a full out sharing. This is not necessarily the direction for which the post was going. It's just more so the first part. The remembering and the call back to you being unified, to your humanity first. Call it self-love. We need to see our humanity, our I am human, I am, you are. Humanoid, whichever genus, species, however you want to break that down. Even scientifically, there's studies out there. We're not all Homo sapien in the way that we think we are. Isn't that awesome? Anyways, that's my biological science aspect. Yeah. Anyways, those studies are very interesting, and it's beautiful that even those found a way to come together to make what it is that we are here now. Don't let ideas, wishes that cause the control and the separation to separate you from your humanity and separate your sight from seeing the humanity in others. Don't let that lie blind you. Anyways, this is me sharing my morning word in video form. It's a long one, so I'm going to cut it short. And I hope it posts. And I hope you find a way to build up your humanity and humanity in others. Look forward to supporting. Have a great day.